Hello and welcome to all of you. You're watching Tech 24. I'm Julia Seeger. Is the internet as we know it at risk? Well, at least that's what more and more activists in the U.S. believe as they engage in the battle to preserve net neutrality, the founding principle of the internet. We'll talk more about this with our guest, Evan Greer from the NGO Fight for the Future. Plus, we'll take a look at the waterproof HD security camera, Canary Flex. And as the name suggests, it's more flexible than ever. It can be used inside and out during the day or at night, wire-free or plugged in. But first, 4 years ago, several young engineers from Jordan started making 3D prosthetics for war victims. Now backed by the French NGO Doctors Without Borders, the project has become an example of how 3D technology could be the solution to poor access to prosthetics, which is a reality around the world. The aim of the project is to create a virtual library of models of artificial limbs that can be downloaded and printed at will. Sylvain Le Petit reports from Jordan.
The MSF hospital in Amman is home to one of the world's most cutting-edge research programs. This little boy was born with a deformed arm. Today, he's at the hospital to try his first prosthetic limb, made with a 3D printer. The Franco-American team heading this project will now make the second arm in less than 24 hours.
Yeah, if you can finish it tonight, then we'll have it printed.
And we can send them tomorrow.
The two men have been experimenting with new techniques, like this portable scanner, for the past 6 months. The goal is to save time and money at each step of the manufacturing process.
It would allow us to have a digital mold in less than 15 seconds on patients who don't move too much, instead of doing a plaster mold, which takes more time and is cumbersome.
In just a few hours, the prosthetic limb is ready to be printed. The next day, they head to the Fab Lab, a 3D printing workshop located in the north of Jordan. Safar Herfat is a biomedical engineer and a professor at the University of San Francisco. He tests all the new materials to find the right balance between flexibility and strength.
So that if the child falls or hits something, it won't break.
According to him, the new technology offers incredible possibilities.
It's particularly revolutionary for prosthetics because now we can design everything to fit each patient and very low cost. All of these components together require less than $20 worth of material.
Savings in manufacturing time and cost will directly benefit those who need the limbs the most. This little girl outgrew a conventional prosthetic limb that cost around 2,000 euros. Thanks to the 3D printing technique, she will be able to change her prosthetic limb as her body grows.
Yes.
It's really good. It helps for everything. To go to school, to get dressed.
MSF chose Jordan in order to develop technology that can help improve the living conditions of vulnerable populations.
We're looking for prosthetic limbs that are fairly simple, easy to produce and to fix if there's any issue, so that it can match the needs of the regions in which we work.
Soon, the team of researchers hopes to create a virtual library to make prosthetic limbs downloadable and printable from anywhere around the globe.
Moving on. When we surf the web, we all have a set of expectations. We all expect to be able to connect to whatever website we want when we want to. In other words, we expect to be in control of our internet experience. And that has a name. It's called net neutrality, as Laurent Bertécher explains with this short animation.
It's one of the founding principles of the World Wide Web, yet net neutrality could be under attack. The internet is like an interconnected transport system where data travels like vehicles and where the rules, stop signs, red lights, and deviations are the same for everyone. This allows data to reach a destination at the same time, no matter who sends or receives it, a principle known as net neutrality. But some internet service providers now want to open a new fast lane and equip it with a toll booth. Those who can pay would be given priority, while others remain stuck in the jam. This means net neutrality could be in danger of disappearing, as the right of a citizen to publish and browse freely would be impeded by big corporations paying for faster internet. Service providers could also block access to information or to competing websites, potentially threatening the free internet we know and love.
Well, for more on this, let's cross over to Evan Greer, the campaign director of the NGO Fight for the Future in Boston. Evan, thank you so much for joining us here on Tech 24.
Thanks for having me on.
So tell us more about the NGO Fight for the Future. Why and when was it created?
So Fight for the Future is a nonprofit organization that works to protect the internet as a free and open platform for creativity, exchange of ideas, and social change. We were founded back in 2012 in the big lead up to the fight over SOPA. And since then, we've helped organize many of the largest online protests and campaigns in history, basically fighting for free speech and free expression in the digital age.
Now, why is net neutrality in particular so important? What would the end of net neutrality mean for the internet?
So net neutrality is the basic principle that has made the internet into what it is today. It's basically the First Amendment of the web. It's what gives all of us a voice and makes sure that large corporations and other institutions don't get to dictate what we can see and what we can say online. So if we lose these net neutrality protections in the US, this won't just affect folks here in the United States. It'll actually affect all internet users, everyone that connects to the web. And it'll essentially make the internet a less diverse, less interesting, less powerful platform for innovation, for creativity, and for expression. So essentially, we're talking about allowing a few companies to have the power to censor, to throttle, and to block online content, or charge all of us more money just to access the content that we're used to getting right now for the cost of our monthly bill.
And now, you recently held a rally in Washington to try to stop the FCC from putting an end to net neutrality, but also to block ISP-backed bills in Congress. Tell us more about that.
Sure. So it was actually really interesting because this wasn't exactly a rally. What we did was we helped ordinary internet users from across the US travel to Washington, D.C. to meet directly with their members of Congress, the senators and representatives that are supposed to listen to their constituents, not just lobbyists from these big telecom companies. So they're hearing from those companies all the time. Those companies want them to pass legislation that would permanently undermine net neutrality protections in the US, and again, then have a ripple effect out to the rest of the world. So we wanted to make sure that those lawmakers who are going to be making decisions that will impact every single person that uses the internet are hearing from real people, real internet users, small business owners and entrepreneurs, not just from lobbyists from a few companies that stand to profit if these protections go away.
Evan Greer, the campaign director of the NGO Fight for the Future. Thank you so much. And it's time for Test 24. With this device, you will never need a peephole ever again. The Canary Flex camera is a weatherproof, app-enabled smart camera with a whole host of capabilities that would put James Bond to shame. Isn't that right, Dan?
Well, Julia, a lot of thought has gone behind the design of this device. Not just the camera, which itself is quite sleek, compact, and attractive, as you can see, but even the wall mounting, which is very important because that gives this camera a greater degree of flexibility. So you can mount the camera this way, you can mount it this way, you can change the angle of the camera the way you want. And this magnetic cradle is quite strong. It holds the camera really well. So that's the first part. Second, it comes with a standard bouquet of features. It has night vision, it can send alerts. It also has motion sensing capabilities. So that's that. But the most impressive feature is that it has two-way audio capabilities. So, I mean, it's inbuilt. It has an inbuilt microphone, so you can, and speakers, of course. So you can chat with the person on the other side. So if you have this installed in your home, you can chat with your family members when
with your kids,
away.
Or
exactly. But that comes with essentially you have to be a part of this Canary membership subscribers. And only then you can utilize this particular feature. So as you mentioned, it is a You can use it in a wireless mode, or you can use it wired mode, so which means you can put it outdoors, you can put it indoors, and it comes with an inbuilt rechargeable battery, which can last for 2 months.
And how much is it?
It's around 200 euros. And I have also another camera. It's called the Omna. It's by D-Link. And the features is almost the same, but you can make, I mean, the telling difference is, of course, the design.
Right.
This is not as
compact. The size
compact.
is pretty much the same.
It's not as sleek and good-looking as the Canary, but its field of view is more impressive. The field of view of Canary Flex is 116 degrees, while this is 180 degrees camera. And as you can see, I downloaded an application. It's very easy to set up. All you need to do is download the application and connect. And as you can see here, you can get live feeds through this camera.
Right.
So yeah, these are the two cameras we have, and pretty much there are many similarities, but the only difference is in this case is the two-way audio conversation. And here you have an SD slot. So the images you record, the videos,
you can watch
be
them
stored
later
here, and it's locally available. So you can take out the SD card and then either save it or do whatever you want with it.
Thank you, Dan. That brings us to the end of this week's edition of Tech 24, but do stay with us here on France 24.